Hey guys, Ty here. Today I want to talk about fuzzy guarding in Tekken. I recently had a student of mine that was struggling with dealing with strings defensively, especially in regards to fuzzying them. So I wanted to make this quick video to help out anyone that might also be having that problem. So, first let's talk about what fuzzying is and why it's useful. Fuzzying in Tekken is using a low and a mid block on different timings in order to effectively eliminate two or more mix-up options from our opponent. This is useful because obviously it gives us better defense, helps us get hit less in neutral, helps us make more informed decisions versus strings and just defensively when we're low blocking or just mid blocking, right? So this video is primarily going to be talking about how to use it against strings, which is something that a lot of lower level players struggle to deal with. And it can be a real annoyance to get hit by strings that just feel like mid-low mix-ups, mid-low mix-ups. The good thing is, in Tekken, there aren't a huge amount of low-mid string mix-ups that are real. In this video, I'm going to help you determine which ones are real and if we should practice fuzzying them. So let's look at an example right here. So we have Brian, classic strings right here, 1 2 1 and 1 2 3. So what we're going to do first, we're going to first identify the string that we want to learn about, right? So for this example, we want to learn about Brian 1 2. Now we want to turn on detailed display in display settings. What we're going to do here is we're going to focus on the part of the string that we want to fuzzy. So for example, with this, it's going to be the third hit of the string. It could be the second hit of the string for you, the fourth hit. For this example, it's the third hit, the final hit of the string. What we want to do is look at the startup frame of that final hit. That's the only one we want to focus on. The last hit of 1 2 1, it comes out in 19 frames. Okay? Got to remember this number. It's important for you. And then let's look at 1 2 3. The low. This is 24 frames. So we have 5 frames of leeway to fuzzy this string. 24 frames is also slow enough that this is realistically seeable, but not every string is going to be like that. Not every string is even going to be a low, so we're not going to focus on that right now. We're going to focus on fuzzying effectively here. So now, all we have to do is set Brian to do both of these strings and try to fuzzy that 5 frame gap, right? 5 frame difference. This is a pretty decent amount of leeway for fuzzying a string. The idea is to recognize that we blocked the mid while also blocking the low. Okay, we didn't block the low. We blocked the low. We blocked the low. We blocked the low. Blocked the mid. So as you guys can see, I'm able to fuzzy in between that 5 frame gap. I got hit, I think, once in the beginning. It's been a while since I've practiced this, but very doable, very realistic to do in a real match. 5 frame gap, right? So we can effectively deal with this against online Brian players that are stringing the hell out of us, and it's super annoying and it makes us want to uninstall the game. Now we know how to deal with that, right? We can do this for a huge amount of strings in this game. There are so many strings in Tekken, it can feel really overwhelming. I know, guys, it's hella annoying, but this is one way that we can learn to deal with it. So now let's look at an example that is not as cut and dry to fuzzy. Let's go and look at Fakumram. One of the most string-heavy characters in the game. A lot of his strings can't be fuzzied. We're going to look at one right here and try to judge if we can fuzzy it. So obviously, we look at this string, 20 frames on the 4 that we want to fuzzy, and also 20 frames on this down 4 that we want to fuzzy. So this is not realistic. Obviously, it's impossible. There is no frame difference in between these two strings. This is a true mix-up, a true guess, and we kind of just have to hold that, which is why Fok is so annoying, but we're not here to complain about Fok. That's what I want you guys to remember from this video, is to look at the frame difference in between the two strings and try to see how we can deal with it. So another example, really quick before the video is over. Steve. We're going to look at 1-2-1-2 and 1-2-1 down 2. This is another string that online Steve players love to abuse at a low level. We're going to look at it again. Let's say this has been destroying us on ranked all day. Let's try to learn how to deal with it. Okay? Last hit starts up in 18 frames. It's pretty quick. The low starts up in 26, extremely slow. There's an 8-frame gap in between that and the mid. So we can easily fuzzy that, right? There's a big difference. There's an even bigger difference than with Brian 1-2-3. And there's so many strings that you can do this with. Miguel 1-2-4 versus 1-2-1+2. Again, we showed Brian 1-2-3. Steve 1-2-1-2 and 1-2-1 down 2. Every character has stuff like this that you can fuzzy and deal with. And it's really up to you guys to figure the rest out yourself. I wanted to make this video just to show you guys how you can do it. Not necessarily to make a video about, oh, these are all the strings that you can fuzzy. I want to teach you guys more how to learn on your own. If there's strings that are giving you trouble between either a low or a mid, or maybe a mid and a high even, go into practice mode, turn on detailed display, and see what the difference is in between those hits that you're trying to deal with. And more often than not, there's going to be an option for you, whether it's low parrying, low blocking, 4-frame difference, 5-frame difference, 6-frame difference. It's very doable with a little bit of practice. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.